You are listening to the 90 Days Later podcast with Anna Charles, episode 140. Welcome to the 90 Days Later podcast, where I show you how life with less alcohol is more fun than you think. I work with high achievers who struggle to drink a glass of wine without it turning into 2 bottles. I'm the one they call when they want to take it or leave it. So if you want to change your relationship with alcohol that doesn't involve counting days sober, you're in the right place. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I talk a lot about other people, and specifically about not putting anyone else's opinion before your own. Certainly not about you or about your drinking. Now, maybe you 100% agree with this, right? And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that approach, that would help me. I really, really want to do this. And yet, right? Maybe you're thinking it's so logical, I understand it. And yet, you're still worrying about what other people will say, what they will do, or what they will think. When you say something along the lines of, actually, I'm going to sit this round out. So if you are sick of caring what other people think, but you still feel stuck, this episode is for you. I'm going to give you 5 practical tips. They might be called hacks. Not sure I like that word, but these are certainly 5 practical things to do. But this podcast comes with a health warning. I don't want you to use it against yourself so that you end up feeling overwhelmed, right? Oh my gosh, there's 5 things I've got to do. I don't know, I don't know how to get started. Or I don't want you to go into perfectionist thinking either. Or which one should I do? Should I do the first, the 5th, the 2nd, all of them? I don't know. I've just got to get this right. This is my one chance, right? No. We are not doing that. If you find yourself in one or both of these camps, here is the prescription. I want you to just pick one item and one action at a time. Test them to see which works best for you. You might find of these 5 that 2 of them just work gangbusters and the rest are not so good for you. There is not one right approach. There is just the approach that you make right. All right, so to stop caring about other people's opinions, here is what you need to do. Number 1, I want you to understand that other people's opinions about you are not true. They aren't right, they aren't wrong. Just because someone thinks something about you does not make it so. For instance, just because someone thinks you're rude does not make you rude. Just because someone thinks you're lazy does not make you lazy. Just because someone thinks you're a big drinker does not make you a big drinker. Just because someone thinks you're selfish does not make you selfish, right? You get the picture. People can have opinions about you, and you can simply disagree with them. You do not need anyone's permission to do that. Number 2, stop making logical jumps and assumptions. Now, more often than not, the opinion you are concerned about is one you have manufactured in your own head. This is a really sneaky one, right? So what's happened is someone says some words to you and you took it to another level. For example, your husband might say, "What? You're drinking tonight? I thought you were gonna, give it a rest for a bit." And you will then take that comment and run with it. Perhaps you'll turn it into, "He thinks I'm a hopeless case," right? Which no one ever said to you. Or perhaps your sister says, "I was really counting on you to be there. Why aren't you coming to the party?" Right? And you can run with that comment and make it mean, "Oh, she thinks I'm a terrible sister," even though no one said that to you either. When we make assumptions about other people's opinions of us and then take logical leaps and fill in what was unsaid with our own negative thinking, we cause ourselves a world of hurt. Don't do this. If someone didn't say something to you expressly, don't believe what your brain tries to tell you. Number 3, make up your own mind about yourself. Form your own opinion. It's a lot harder to be swayed by someone else's opinion of you when you hold yourself in a high regard. How do you want to think about yourself? Right? And when you form your opinion of yourself, do make it a good one. How? Well, you can recite to yourself all the things you like about yourself, all of your strengths, all of your qualities, all of your positive attributes. Be so sold on you that anyone else's opinion becomes irrelevant. Now, if you are listening to this and thinking, oh, I can't do that, that makes me sound such a big head, it would make me so self-centered, right? I want you to see it as evening up the balance. I bet you say a whole lot of mean things to yourself at the moment on the regular. So just cut yourself some slack and add some positive stuff into the picture too. Number 4, identify where you first learned to care about what others might think. This is a nature and nurture thing, right? A part of us, the primitive lizard part of our brain, was designed to care about other people's opinions, right? It's how we managed to stay alive during the old hunting and gathering days, when your survival depended on your acceptance in the group. Now, these days, we don't have to worry about that. You can support yourself, which means that other people's opinions matter far less. You probably learned to care about others' opinions when you were growing up, maybe at home, with your friendship group, in your first job. Think about it. What did you learn? What were you taught? Your parents or whoever else taught you to care probably didn't know any better, and that's okay. You can just decide it's time to stop practicing that outdated belief system now, right? In fact, you can decide that right now. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to tell them you were so wrong. That's not the point here. But it's just deciding for ourselves what we want for ourselves. And number 5, this one is like waving a magic wand. I want you to allow yourself to feel negative emotions, like feeling misunderstood or exposed or judged or criticized or doubted. Now, people often struggle with these feelings. I have struggled with these feelings a lot. And when we do that, what happens is instead of feeling them, all right, and then carrying on in spite of them, we go out of our way to push these feelings away, right? And the moment we are not able to process or feel these feelings, we're then into the area of really resisting and we're not feeling great. And what do? That's when we drink to feel better. We either do that or we try to explain or defend ourselves to other people, right? We try and change their minds. This, by the way, rarely works. Instead, the most empowering thing you can do is just to let yourself feel those negative feelings. They're coming for a reason. We don't even need to understand the reason. And we can do that without needing to set the record straight or without getting anyone to think differently than they do. Honestly, when you allow yourself to feel misunderstood, that is pure freedom. Now, there are many, many reasons why we find it difficult to stop worrying about other people's opinions. It can be anything from we're afraid to make a change because other people might not like it, because they might disagree, they might have other thoughts about it, maybe we value their opinion, or they might judge us. Now listen, you can spend your whole life playing small and settling for less than what you want because you're more concerned with being liked and getting other people's approval than you are with being happy. If that's how you've been living and you're sick of it, it's time to make a change. It's time to put a pin in being preoccupied with what they think, and it's time to start living for you. Make that your goal as we move into the second half of 2024, and you will end the year feeling completely different and acting completely differently. But if you want more help with this, I can help. I'm the one to call. One of the best things about working with me is that I understand what you're going through, so you'll never feel alone. And you can also count on me to not be someone whose opinion you need to worry about, because I believe in you always. The first step is to have an initial free call with me about what you want, and I will build the plan on the call to get you there. Now, whether you decide to coach with me or not, you will no longer be able to tell yourself that you're confused about what to do next. You will know what you need to hear from yourself to be ready to start taking action. How do you get started? Go to the 90dayslater.co website, and at the very top you'll see a button to book a call. That will get you access to my calendar. If you don't find a time that works for you, simply email me on anna@90dayslater.co and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week.